Desmond Hall, where the view in the sunlight holds a promise of happiness to come. But when seen through a crystal ball, the future of the ancient mansion is overshadowed with death and sorrow. Yet on this morning, the master of Desmond Hall arises with feelings of jubilation, not knowing that his love for the beautiful Helena has already been threatened with dire predictions.
Oh, what a heavenly morning. Well, Quito, what? No little gift or flower for Miss Raleigh with the breakfast tray? Is she still sleeping? No? Well, I must admit I did expect some little good thing with the breakfast. A note or a flower. I must admit, Quito, I've become a romantic again. Now, Quito, I won't have you acting in dull or gloomy despair. Not anymore. I'm in love, Quito. In love with Miss Raleigh. And if this love is still strong enough, then we can transform Desmond Hall into a wonderful place. A place of kindness and goodness. Because the lady is good and kind. Pardon me. You know something, Quito? I am sounding like a young man who has never been in love before. Now be happy, Quito. Nothing evil will ever enter here again. Nothing.
I see it all, Emily. Your every wish granted. So far as Helena Raleigh is concerned, she will crumple before our eyes without you or I lifting a finger.
Are you sure?
Very sure. So, dear girl, all that's left to us is the destruction of Jean-Paul Desmond.
See you up and about. It's been a very disconcerting morning.
Oh, disconcerting? In what way?
Come, these are serious matters.
I find I can't be serious about anything this morning.
To begin with, Miss Raleigh.
Yes?
She says you and she are to be married.
Oh, does she? Is that what she says?
I expected such an announcement to come from you. Is there any truth in it?
Well, not having heard the news myself, but if that is what she says.
Also, I found her this morning going through my books and financial records.
Yes, well, I think that would be advisable. If she's going to be a Desmond, then she should be familiar with the financial situation.
You're jesting.
I'm not. Now, I haven't proposed as yet to Miss Raleigh, but if I do, and when I do, I expect her answer to be yes.
And you expect me to rejoice?
You? No, I've never seen you rejoice at anything. However, I don't think you should change your ways, Laszlo, in order to make do for one engagement.
I will not be made fun of.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to make fun of you. It's just that I can't understand why the rest of this house isn't as happy as I am. But never mind, Laszlo. It shall be. We all shall be.
Where are you going?
Well, for a walk. A beautiful morning walk.
Just a moment. I haven't told you the rest about Miss Raleigh.
I'll tell her, Mr. Thaxton. Jean-Paul and I have no secrets.
Good morning, darling. Well, tell me, Laszlo is very anxious that I know.
Laszlo shows signs of becoming a very considerate gentleman.
I thank you, Miss Raleigh, for such faith in my future.
Well, not only your future. Why, this very morning, this gentleman saved me from a fate worse than death. You see, Mrs. Hatter was telling my fortune.
Your fortune?
Oh, yes, it was all very silly, and I shouldn't have allowed her to do it.
Was Irene Hatter here?
No. I was at her cottage.
At her cottage? Why?
Well, I wanted to see Emily, to make sure she was well.
And how did you find her?
Strange. Very strange. But Mrs. Hatter believes it will pass.
I'm sure it will.
Well, what's all the concern about? Why did you tell me that you were worried?
Not worried, cousin. Careful. I don't think Miss Raleigh ought to go and see Irene.
And why not?
Well, you were very upset when I brought you home.
Well, needlessly, I think.
Helena has a perfect right to visit whomever she chooses. Now, if she wants to choose to be concerned about Emily, that's not surprising. We're all concerned.
Oh, I don't think there's any cause for concern. Mrs. Hatter will take care of it, and I think the least meddling in it is the best. That's my advice. Leave Emily Blair alone until she asks to see you. Let Mrs. Hatter do her work alone.
Darling, don't be upset.
I can't help it.
Well, what did Emily say to you?
Emily's ill. She's not responsible for what she says. But Jean-Paul, she hates me. And I don't want anybody to hate us, not now. I want us to be happy.
Oh, darling, we shall be.
I want us to be happy. If only for a little while.
Why only for a little while? I have a question to ask you. And I don't see any reason why we should deny something that we both know we want. I love you, Helena. And I think you love me.
I do. Oh, I do.
Then marry me. Will you marry me?
I don't know. Jean-Paul, I don't know.
The morning offering, my dear, consists of prayer and petitions. Of course, all this will have much more potent power when the coven gathers. And your petitions will be more acceptable once you've joined the Circle of Fire. But we're lacking 2 members in the coven now that Agatha Pruitt's dear parents have gone away in sadness. So, we do as best we can. The incantation, my dear. Powers of darkness, evils which exist for all eternity, receive my worship and my prayer. Spread out your blood-stained wings and include me in your embrace always. Very good, my dear. You're on your way, dear Emily. You are on your way.
I don't want to say no to you, Jean-Paul. I do love you. And I want to be with you as long as you want me.
Helena.
But I can't let myself say, yes, I'll marry you.
Oh, why not? What's this sudden change in your thinking this morning? Now, words like, as long as I want you, they have no meaning to me. I want you, always.
Don't. There are many things to consider.
Well, what things? Tell me.
The future.
You're afraid?
Yes, a little.
Why? You had so much hope. Last night you were confident that nothing would stand in our way. Now, what happened? Was it Irene?
Yes.
Well, what did she say to you? She made some attempt at telling your fortune. What did she say?
She saw death and unhappiness and sadness at Desmond Hall, and no future for us at all.
And you believed that, a foolish, gossiping woman. Now, why would she want to frighten you, and why did you let her?
Jean-Paul, we can't skip happily ahead like children. Well, there are many things we have to consider. Many things.
Helena, please, now listen to me.
No, I want to be alone for a while. Now, you're not going to sweep me off my feet. And don't think you can. I've become a very serious lady.
I'm glad. Because I appreciate a serious lady.
So So all our joy of last night is changed to deep and solemn thoughts. Love does strange things, doesn't it?
Deep and solemn thoughts. You're right, Helena. We do have some serious thinking to do. And in all my happiness, I have ignored the serious things. I am a man who is cursed that whenever the mark of death appears on his hand, such a man cannot go lightly to the altar of God as a bridegroom when he is already vowed to Satan.
Oh, Jean-Paul, how pleasant.
My mission isn't as pleasant, Irene, I'm afraid.
Sorry to hear that. Nonetheless, you must sit down. I'll make tea.
Irene, what happened between you and Helena this morning?
Why, I made some tea. We chatted.
And you told her that she had no future at Desmond Hall.
Oh, that? Why, a parlor game. I do it for my friends. That's my one claim to fame in Desmonton.
You frightened her.
I'm sorry, Jean-Paul. That certainly wasn't my intention. She misunderstood the game, took it too seriously.
Irene, you are not to let it happen again.
Of course not, Jean-Paul. I'm glad you told me. If Miss Rowley had spoken up, I'd have known immediately. Now, the tea.
Irene, was it a game?
Well, what else could it have been?
I wonder about you, Irene, and about your influence over Holly.
I tried to help Holly.
Mm-hmm. Rather mystically, it seems.
Jean-Paul, I don't know what you're talking about. I am a widow, living alone, wanting good friends. I'm highly respected in this town, Jean-Paul. Jean-Paul, what is happening to you? Ever since you began suspecting that your brother Philip disappeared under mysterious circumstances, your behavior has become somewhat mysterious, too.
Irene, I am wondering whether or not I can trust you at all. And I do not like to have anything concealed.
I don't like things concealed either.
Emily, how well you look.
Do I?
Yes, you do, very well. Irene, you must be commended for doing such a good job for Emily.
Well, Miss Blair is very cooperative.
Yes, I am.
Well, I'm glad that you're well. I was concerned about you.
Are you? I'm happy to hear that. I thought you'd forgotten all about me.
Never.
And now, I'll make tea.
We've been through too many things together to forget, haven't we, Jean-Paul? I remember everything. I remember how we slowly came to know one another. And I remember when you took me in your arms and told me...
Yes, Emily, I'm sorry.
So am I. Not to be near you.
Emily, you said you didn't want anything concealed.
Yes. Go on. Nothing concealed.
I love Helena Raleigh. I've asked her to marry me.
Marry?
Yes.
Then she will be mistress of Desmond Hall. Well, let her. Let her cherish it. Let her keep it before the cliffs shake beneath it and it crumbles into the river below.
Emily!
I curse you, Jean-Paul Desmond. I conceal nothing. I want one thing. I want you and your precious Helena to die. And it shall happen. It shall.
Emily! Irene!
I heard the shouting. You mustn't take the girl seriously, Jean-Paul. I feel that she's getting better. Her fantasies, these curses, this hatred, they're passing things. They're happening less and less.
I had no idea.
And that dreadful snake thing, all her own imagination, of course.
It wasn't her imagination.
Now, Jean-Paul, I won't listen to another word. I'm used to dealing with young ladies who dream hysterical dreams. Believe me, Jean-Paul, I will make her better. Now, trust me, Jean-Paul, trust me.
Trust me, Jean-Paul, to keep my word. Trust me.
Did you have a pleasant visit?
Where's Helena?
Waiting for you in the drawing room. When will you learn that I am an ally, that I can be trusted? Didn't I warn you not to go to Irene's?
You did. Why?
Well, because I knew Emily's condition. I didn't want to disturb you. She is very ill, and whatever she says must be discounted. Well, go on, Jean-Paul. Miss Rowley is anxious for you.
Helena?
Jean-Paul, I've been so worried.
You mustn't worry. There's nothing to worry about.
What is it? What happened?
Nothing happened. Irene is very sorry that she upset you. It was only a game, she said.
But something has happened, I know it. You've changed. Oh, Jean-Paul, don't be cold. I need you. I'm frightened. The self-assured actress that came to Desmond Hall playing the Queen, sometimes thoughtless and cruel. I'm not that same woman. Do you believe me?
Yes.
Then hold me, reassure me, because you're all I have. I need you.
Helena, perhaps we have been like foolish children. We need to consider. We need to be sure.
I see.
No, you don't see. You see your own agony, but you don't see mine.
No, I won't. I won't cry. This is not a scene in which crying is called for. Remember, Miss Raleigh, you are an actress, and tears are the easiest thing an actress can summon. I won't cry. I'll think. I'll think. There's no problem to which there isn't a solution. Oh, dear God, if you ever gave me any talent at all, show me how to use it. Not as an actress, but as a woman.
I am displeased. Displeased with you, Emily. If you want to be one of us, if you want to achieve your goals, you've got to stop behaving like a child. You must learn silence. Do you understand?
Yes.
Any more threats, any more outbursts, and you will leave my house. I can't risk having a raging child about.
I'm sorry, but Jean-Paul hurt me.
He is a person to be scorned silently. His fate is sealed, Emily. Try to remember that.
I hate him.
The world doesn't have to know that. Our goal is not to make headlines in the Desmonton newspaper. How do I put up with you? Why do I condescend to teach you anything?
But I want to learn. I do.
Then the first and most important thing that you must learn is obedience, and complete blind obedience.
I will obey.
Will you? Then obey. Obey me now. Kneel. I said kneel. Kneel before me. Now, repeat after me. Dear Irene.
Dear Irene,
May I have permission, please,
may I have permission, please?
to drink the chalice
To drink the chalice
of blood?
of
You heard.
blood.
Jean-Paul, I must see you. Jean-Paul, I want to know your agonies. I do. Because if I don't, there is no hope for either of us.
And once you know them, then there is no hope at all. Helena, when you saw what was on my hand, you saw a symbol. Well, that symbol was the mark of death. That is my curse. And when it appears, no one must know this. This is my secret. When it appears, I must kill. I must kill. Perhaps even you.